All right. So hopefully everyone's familiar now on how to get to our course homepage or the website homepage. So this is the website homepage, and we can find our courses. Where are my courses? We can see our courses right here. So everyone in this Google Meet should either be in my ENG4C course, grade 12 English, or my OLC course, the Ontario Literacy course. And so I'm going to start in the ENG4C course. Most of what I'm going to talk about today is the same in the 4C and the OLC, but I will go into both courses here. But if I go into the 4C, the first thing I want to point out is that you're going to see a whole bunch of information in the calendar that I've posted today. And so, for example, the principal announced yesterday our official midterm and final exam schedule. So you'll notice that our midterm is scheduled for 12 noon on March 26th. So whether you're doing the ENG4C or whether you're doing the OLC, you will have your midterm on that day, and it will be in my classroom in room 106. And then our final exam is for, again, both for OLC and ENG4C, is going to be on June 12th at 12 p.m. So these are our two in-class days where students are going to be expected to come into class and write two exams, a midterm and a final. What the principal has asked us to do is he's asked us to double check with students that there's no overlap. So, for example, he's scheduled the ENG4C exam and the OLC exam on the same day because he assumes that no one has both of those courses at the same time. And I'm pretty confident that that's true. I don't think there's anyone that's in both of my OLC and 4C courses. But we want to make sure you should hear from any other hybrid teachers that you have today. And if not today, then by tomorrow. And they should be providing you with your midterm and final exam days. And if they happen to overlap, if you find that you have another exam on March 26th or June 12th, then let me know and we'll work something out. It won't be a big deal. You won't have to write two exams on one day, but it shouldn't be a problem because I think they've made the courses that are on the same day courses that students would not usually have at the same time. All right, so that's first things first is we've got our official exam dates. You'll also notice that I've posted other dates that are coming up, like Family Day next Monday, so there'll be no school next Monday. We have a PA Day in a couple of Fridays on February 27th, and we have the March break coming in the middle of March. So these are all of our days off have been labeled for you, and I will always post any due dates that we have coming up. So I'm hoping if you haven't finished your diagnostic writing assignment and submitted it yet, that you will submit it by midnight tonight, that you'll submit it by the ending of the day today. And then you'll be ready to move on to Unit 1, Activity 1, which I'm going to talk about in this Google Meet. And hopefully you can finish Unit 1, Activity 1 by Friday. The goal in both the OLC and the 4C course is to start a new activity every Monday, or in the case of next week, since Monday there will be no school, we'll start it on Tuesday. But the goal is to start a new activity at the beginning of each week, and then to complete it by the Friday of that week, and then you're ready to jump into the new activity the following Monday. So that's how you'll see the due dates lining up throughout the semester. Okay, that's my number one on my list was course outline and, course calendar and exam dates. I would suggest checking the exam dates, the course calendar whenever you happen to go onto the website just to see if there's anything new there. I will try to keep the calendar as updated as I can. Okay, number two. I posted a welcome message on both the ENG4C and the OLC website last week. And within that opening message, I asked you to do a diagnostic assignment. I asked you to make sure that you were comfortable navigating on the website. And I also mentioned that I would post my official course outline as soon as it became available and as soon as the principal provided exam dates. So that happened. And so you'll notice in my latest announcement for Unit 1, Activity 1, that I actually mentioned the course outline here at the bottom. So before I get into Unit 1, Activity 1, I want to take a quick look at the overall outline. So if I click on the outline, and this is going to be a little bit, the OLC one is a little bit different formatting. The structure looks different, but all the information is the same. Okay, so if we take a look here, and let's see if this works for me. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is our course outline for ENG4C. You will see that it lists the units. So you've got Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, and then Unit 5 is our review for the final exam. You'll notice that the midterm exam will be after Unit 2, again on March 26th. But this is just the structure for our entire course. And you'll notice that I have not identified the novel that we'll read yet. We'll talk about that when we after the midterm. So you've got your course outline here. You've also got assessment, where it explains how you'll be graded in this course. And so the grading works in 4 different categories. So everything you do counts as either knowledge, thinking, application, or communication, and each category counts for 25% of your grade. You can take a look at the achievement charts. You can take a look at the final grading here. This actually I'll spend a minute on here. The final grading, the way it will work in 4C is all of your term work, so all of the assignments that you will do and submit onto the course website are worth 50% of your grade. Your midterm evaluation is worth 20% of your grade, so your midterm exam. Your final exam is worth 20%, and then a research essay that you'll do at the ending of the semester is 10%, and they go together for your 30% summative or final grading. So if we put all of that together, there's how we work out your 100% average, your average out of 100%. Keep in mind, and I mentioned this on Thursday, that students cannot pass the ENG4C or the OLC course unless they pass a midterm exam or final exam. So you must pass an in-class assessment to earn the credit. So keep that in mind. You can check out learning skills if you want. On all of your report cards, I will have to give you a letter grade for your learning skills. It's not overly important. It doesn't affect your final grade, but it will be there, so you can take a look at that. And so that's how you'll be assessed this semester. If we go to course materials, it'll just go over what you need to complete this course. You should have an internet connection, and you should have a web browser that you can use so that you can log into your My Tools to Go, and that you can log into the course website, and that you can use Google Docs. I've had a couple of students tell me that they're trying to use their cell phones to do this course. I would find that extremely difficult. And so if you only have a cell phone to do this course, I would contact your guidance counselor and ask them if you can borrow a Chromebook like I'm using right now for the semester. If you're an online student, they will try to have a Chromebook available for you if you don't have a Chromebook or a laptop or an iPad. If you don't have your own device that you can use, they should hopefully have one that you can borrow. But I would let your guidance counselor know quickly because they do probably run out rather quickly at the beginning of each semester. If you have any questions about that, let me know. We have Course policies, we talked about attendance on Thursday. You're expected to sign into this course at least once a week. Okay, so you're expected to log into your course website at least once a week. So however many hybrid courses you have, you should be logging into all of them at least once a week. And you're expected to submit an assignment at least once a week. So as long as you're doing that, you will be marked present for the entire week. If you do not attend class if you do not log into the course website or submit an assignment throughout the week, then you are absent for the whole week. So it's kind of like weekly attendance, not daily attendance. And if you have any other questions about that, let me know, but you can read through the attendance policy here on your own. We've got assignment submission and deadlines. So this will go over how you have to submit your assignments. We talked about this on Thursday. You must use Google Docs, and it explains that again right here. You must type and edit all of your assignments in Google Docs and then submit them to a Dropbox on this course website. And the school board had a video explaining how to do that in the diagnostic writing assignment. So if you're still struggling with submitting an assignment, you can take a look at that video or send me an email and I can help you. I can show you how to do it, especially for the first or second assignment that students do. If this is their first hybrid course, they sometimes have trouble submitting assignments. I'm happy to help you. You just type it out on Google Docs and we can meet online, or you can meet with me in class and I can help you submit your assignments. What else can I say? Midterm and final exams. As I mentioned, the principal has announced the dates for those, and students are expected to attend. It is mandatory that you write a midterm and a final exam. This goes for both the ENG4C and OLC courses. Plagiarism and cheating and AI tools. Please take a look at this. The school board, of course, is very serious about plagiarism and the use of AI tools, and they don't want us grading anything that is not students' own words and students' own ideas. This is why they want students, or this is one of the reasons why they are demanding that everything is typed out in Google Docs. That way, if you type everything in Google Docs, I have access to the document. I can see if you've typed it out or if it's been copied or pasted. I can see if you've edited the document in Google Docs. And so that it's very important within St. Michael's and throughout the entire school board that you use Google Docs and that you type your own work. So take a look here. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. I had a talk with my face-to-face class on the first day about using AI. You can absolutely use AI to help you, improve your notes, or you could, ask AI to come up with review questions for you to prepare for a test. There's lots of things you can use AI for that can help you be a better student, but you can't let AI write sentences for you. This is, especially in an English class, I have to see your own work. Okay. That's about it with general policies. There's some tips for success that you can take a look at. Oh, sorry, that worked. There's some tips for success that'll give you some ideas on what you can do to be successful in an online course. And there's also a section here, technical support. So if you ever have any trouble with your My Tools to Go account, or if you can't log into the course website for some reason, you can call IT. Here's the telephone number and the extension, or the email address, and they can reset your password, or they can take a look at what's going on with your My Tools to Go account, or what's going on with D2L, and help you technically. You can absolutely let me know, and some students have already let me know that they're having technical issues, and I can try to help, but I can't I know nothing about my tools to go passwords, and I can't reset them. I can't do anything with them. And with the D2L, with your access to the course, I don't have access to who gets in and who doesn't. So certainly you can let me know, but it's probably best to contact IT, and they can hopefully fix your problem. And from students in past semesters, they've had really good experiences contacting IT. Sometimes they get their problem fixed within minutes. So if you do have any technical problems, feel free to call or email this phone number or this email address. Last but not least is a little section called Meet Your Teacher. And this has just got my information. So you've got my email address. All of you should have received an email address from me previously. You've got my dates and times that I'm available. I'm generally available as long as school is open. I'm available from Monday to Friday from 1:45 till 3. There are occasions that we have staff meetings, and our staff meetings are usually at 1:45. So there might be occasional days where I'm not available. So you might want to send me an email ahead of time if you're planning on coming into the school. But in general, if you come into the school, I'm available in room 106 from 1:45 till 3. If you'd prefer to meet with me online, we can meet like this through Google Meet, and it doesn't have to be the whole class. It can just be yourself and I talking about the course. So if you'd like to schedule a Google Meet for between 1:45 and 3, let me know and we can set that up. If you're really not available between 1:45 and 3 and you really have to talk to me, send me an email and we'll figure something out. I can always call you on the phone, or maybe we can do a Google Meet at a slightly different time. But I do have face-to-face classes that I teach in the morning. So I am definitely not available from 9 o'clock till 11:45 because I'm teaching in class. All right. Well, that is, in a nutshell, the course outline. And so if you click on the course outline right here in my announcement, or if you go up into coursework and click on coursework, you can view all of that information for yourself. And if you're in the OLC class, you'll see the exact same thing. If you go into the OLC class, you can go down and you'll see in my announcement today, my Unit 1, Activity 1 announcement, you'll see important, see course outline for course information. And so you can click right here. And you can take a look, and it will be the sections will be a little bit different maybe, but the information will be the exact same. So you'll see the different units. You'll see how you're going to be evaluated. You'll see the general policies like attendance. You'll see academic integrity, about using AI, and about plagiarism. So you'll see all the same information. Oh, I will point out two other things. I posted in the ENG and in the OLC, in the course outline section, I posted links to the St. Michael's Student Handbook, which is really important. If you click on the Student Handbook, this is a handbook for all St. Michael's students, and you can click on your class. So you can click on OLC or 4C, and then within that, you can get information on all sorts of things that you would need. So if you need a letter for daycare or Ontario Works that says that you are attending class, you can get one by clicking here. If you need a letter for Canadian citizenship, you can send an email to the admin Mike's, which is the general St. Michael's email. If you need help with daycare, if you need a student bus pass, if you need a copy of your transcript, if you want to know about picking up a diploma, applying to college, university, OSAP, scholarships, co-op, you need help with your resume, finding a job, you want information about graduation, all of this you can find through the St. Michael's Student Handbook. And this is the ENG4C section. But if you click on the OLC section, you'll get very similar information. Okay, so the principal here at St. Michael's has been promoting this student handbook every day of the new semester. they get a lot of students that call the office and request information, or contact their guidance counselor and request information, when they could just go to the student handbook and find out the information quicker. And so I would strongly recommend, if you have anything related to St. Mike's that you need, check out the student handbook, and you can find it. It's linked right inside your course website. One other thing I'll say is the guidance counselors have changed a little bit. I think their scheduling has changed. See if I can find this here. Yeah. So if your last name begins with ABC, your guidance counselor is Carolina Harrington. If your last name is D to L, your guidance counselor is Laura Sargent. If your last name starts with an M to a Z, your guidance counselor is Nicole Desjardins. And you can click right on their names here and you can email them. So your guidance counselor is always the best person to talk to if you have any questions about college, if you have any questions about what you plan on doing after you leave St. Michael's, if you have questions about the courses that you're taking and what you need to graduate. It's always good to keep in touch with your guidance counselors. So I just wanted to point out their email address is right here. Okay. With that said, that's all the background information I have. I went over the course outline. I went over the calendar and dates. Now I'd just like to go over the first activity of the semester. So the one that I posted earlier today, and we hopefully can finish it by Friday. And so I'll do I guess I'll just open it up here. Before I go over Unit 1, Activity 1, any questions about anything I've covered? Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with ENG4C, because I think I probably have more ENG4C students here. And it's maybe a bit more complicated. But I'll start with ENG4C. So if I go back. And so I know I've already spoken to this, but every week, every Monday, or if there's no class on Monday, then Tuesday, you will see a new activity announcement. So this Monday was Unit 1, Activity 1. Next week, it'll be Unit 1, Activity 2, and Unit 1, Activity 3. So we'll go one activity a week, and we'll always start it at the beginning of each week. I will always give you a brief little explanation about what you will learn in the content. So in the case of ENG4C, you're going to learn about listening and speaking strategies in the first activity. And then I'll also give you a little explanation of the assignment that you'll have to do. And in this activity, you're going to have to complete a speaking strategies assignment. And then I'll give you a due date, which will usually be a Friday. So the goal is to start this activity today and to finish it by Friday. I will also always give you a link. You can get into any of the activities that I open by going to coursework as well, but I always give you a link right in the announcement so that you can jump right into the activity. So if we click on Unit 1, Activity 1 here, and you will see that the ENG4C course is a bit older. The structure of the course is a little bit different than the OLC course is going to be. But they both will have essentially a content section and an assignment section. You always want to start in the 4C with the content. Students tend to like to just jump ahead to the assignment. If you jump to the assignment without going through the content, you're probably going to get the assignment wrong. So always go through the content first. So I'm on the content page, and I'll expand it here. And what you'll see is there's always some sort of what we call Minds On, and Minds On is like an introduction. So there'll be maybe a video or a graphic text, something to grab your attention. And in this case, you've got a Minds On that's going to talk about miscommunication, and there's going to be some kind of funny clips to introduce that. And then you'll get into what's called the action section of the activity. And the action section is like the lesson. This is what you need to learn to understand the content that I need you to understand for assignments and tests. And so you'll notice that it's going to go over different reasons why people miscommunicate. And then it's going to move into listening strategies. And it's going to go over, I think it's 8 different listening strategies. There's going to be a little bit of practice. There'll be a little video here, and there'll be some questions that you're going to be asked here when you watch this video to test your listening. Then there's going to be speaking strategies, and so there'll be 8 speaking strategies. And then again, a little bit of practice. There'll be some questions you can answer here after you watch this video. So there'll always be some sort of material, some sort of, in this case, listening and speaking strategies, and then something that you can do to practice and show your understanding. You're not submitting the practice to me. If you have any problems with it, you can email me, we can talk about it. But anything in the content is just for you to learn and for you to practice. It's not to be submitted. Okay. At the bottom, there's going to be some sort of consolidation that's going to wrap up the activity. And in this case, it's going to encourage you to try to do a practice conversation with somebody and to use that as an opportunity to improve your listening and speaking skills. And then when you get to the bottom, it's going to say you have now completed the content page. Click on the assignment link at the bottom of this page to complete the assignment. So you've done the content. Now you click assignment. And for the assignment in this course, in this activity, it's going to be all about speaking strategies. So you would have covered the 8 speaking strategies in the content, and now you have to show that you can apply them. So I've given you 2 TV interviews. One of them is with the actress Kate Winslet on the television show, The Kelly Clarkson Show. And the other one is with the former Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, on a late night talk show called The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to click on one of these 2 links, watch the interview, and then complete this assignment. I'm going to tell you to choose one of the 2 interviews and to explain your opinion about whether the host and guest in the interview demonstrate good or bad speaking strategies. And then follow the requirements here. Make sure that you're writing me a proper paragraph. Make sure you're including everything that I'm asking for right here. And you will do that in Google Docs. You'll open up a Google Docs. You can just, if I was to do that here, I would open up a Google Doc. And I would type, I would give it a title. So I could go U1A1 Speaking Strategies Assignment, and then I can give it that same title, and then I can just type out my assignment. I can, I'm asking in this case for 1 paragraph describing the speaking strategies that were used in 1 TV interview. So again, you'd write your paragraph, and let's pretend that I completed my paragraph here. I would then share the paragraph with my teacher. So for me, the easiest way to do that is to just find my name, Derek Harrigan here, and then share this with me. So you'd go send. You would also make a copy. So you'd share it with me. You'd make a copy, and then we would go back here. Give me 1 second. So if I go back to the assignment page, you can see where it says complete the following assignment and submit it to the Dropbox. So I could click right here to submit it to the Dropbox if I wanted to, or I could just click on submissions and assignment, and I could find the Dropbox right here. It's the same Dropbox. So I would go click on that assignment. You see the rubric on how it's being graded. And then you'd go down here, you'd copy the link to your Google Doc right here. You'd go add a file, you'd go Google Drive. And my Google Drive's pretty full, so it takes its time here. And I would find right here is my speaking strategies. And then I would hit submit. So that is how, from beginning to end, you would do Unit 1, Activity 1 in ENG4C. First, go through the content. Then when you're done the content, click on the assignment button, and you can then follow the instructions, create a Google Doc, and submit it. And you're done. That's what I need my 4 Cs to do by Friday. One thing I'll say too is if I click on submission and assignments, you'll see right over here, evaluation status. Once I've evaluated your speaking strategy assignment or your diagnostic writing assignment, you'll see view feedback right here, and you can click on that and you can view the feedback that I've given you and any grades that I might have given you if it's something that's being graded. So for example, the speaking strategies assignment will be graded out of 40 marks. So you'll see a rubric, you can click on that and you can see how you were graded. Speaking of the diagnostic assignments, I'm still waiting for some students to submit them today. The due date is not till midnight tonight, but starting tonight and definitely tomorrow, if you've submitted your diagnostic writing assignment, you will receive feedback from me, and you can click right here and you can see what I wrote. Okay. All right. So that, I think, is everything I want to say to my 4 Cs. Is there anyone in ENG4C with any questions about that?
No, but sir, I have to go because I got to get ready for work. But
No,
is
no
that
problem. I appreciate you. I appreciate you showing up.
oh, okay? Thank you, sir.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Excuse me, teacher. Hi, how are you?
Yes.
Can you kindly, when we are done, you are done, please, this session, can you send it on Google YouTube like last one?
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm recording this right now, and I'm going to send it on YouTube just like I did last time.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to go into the OLC class, and much of it's the same. So I'm not going to repeat things that I've already said, hopefully. But if you go into OLC, you'll see the exact same thing as I was talking about with ENG. You'll see due dates. You'll see the calendar due dates down here. You'll see my welcome message, which hopefully everyone has already looked at. And then you'll see my message for today for Unit 1, Activity 1. And I will always give you a little explanation of the lesson. I will tell you the assignments that you have to do. And in this case, there's 2 small assignments. And then I will tell you the due date. So I'm hoping that you finish these assignments by Friday. You have a course outline as well too that you can click right here, and you can see everything about the course and about the units and how you'll be graded. If we do take a quick look at that. You'll see again, what should I expect? And it will go over what you should expect in the course, what's going to be in Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and Unit 4. You can take a look at how you'll be assessed, and it will talk about grading. It will have the same reminder that in order to pass this course, you must pass an in-class assessment, meaning that you must pass either the midterm exam or the final exam in class. It'll also go over your final grade and how it will be calculated. So your midterm exam is worth 30%, your final exam is worth 30%, and your coursework, the assignments that you will submit throughout the semester, are 40%. You'll find that many of the assignments in OLC are not graded. They're like draft or they're like rough work in order to improve so that you prepare yourself and you're ready for the midterm exam and the final exam. There will certainly be some assignments that you have to do and that will be graded. But a lot of the assignments, for example, the assignments that you'll do in Unit 1, Activity 1, they will be kind of practice or draft assignments. You can see the general policies at St. Michael's, the attendance, how to submit assignments again. And then you can look at academic integrity, and you can read about AI, and you can read about all of the policies that we use for research and for making sure we're not accused of plagiarism. You'll also notice there is a link, or if I go down far enough here, there is a link to the St. Michael's handbook right here. So just like I showed my ENG4C students, you can click on the link here, and you can, the link is right here, and you can go into the student handbook, and you can find any information, hopefully, that you would need about St. Michael's. All right, so now to get to the real topic here. Let's take a look at Unit 1, Activity 1. And in Unit 1, Activity 1 in OLC, you're going to be learning about different types of reading that you do on a daily basis. And then you're also going to learn how you can use goal setting to improve your learning. So types of reading and goal setting are going to be the main topics. And so, oh, I forgot to include a link here. Oh, hold on 1 second. You can find a link, you can find Unit 1, Activity 1 in coursework up here, but I like to put a link in the activity so that you can just jump right from the activity. So if I was to do that, it would go like this. I'd go like this. Come on. Sorry about the delay here. Okay. Okay. So now you should see in the opening announcement here, in the Unit 1, Activity 1 announcement, if you click on Unit 1, Activity 1, it should take us right into Unit 1, Activity 1. And if you want to make it bigger, you can just click on this button right here, and it will expand it to full screen. And then if we take a look here, it's going to welcome you to the literacy course at the beginning of the course here and try to explain the course a little bit. It's going to talk about the importance of note taking, and you can take your notes on paper. You can take your notes in, on your Chromebook or your laptop, but it is going to strongly suggest here that you should take notes as you read the activities so that you will better understand the assignments and that you'll be more prepared for the midterm and the final exam. And then after talking about note-taking, it's going to talk about what do we read, and you're going to find a lot of information here about the different types of reading that we do on a daily basis. And I think this activity is going to try to prove to you that no matter what occupation you do, no matter who you are, no matter what you do in your daily life, we all have things that we have to read. And so reading is an essential skill. And obviously in literacy, in this course, reading is extremely important. And so as we go on here, you'll see an action section. This is where we get into the actual lesson, and we move from the introduction to the lesson. And it's going to talk about how reading can be broken up into form, idea, and details. And it's going to explain that as they go down here. And it's going to have you look at an example of a book and show you all the different parts that you should be able to identify on the cover of a book. It's going to talk about different occupations and the different types of reading that people have to do when they do different jobs. And then you're going to meet 5 different people here. And you can watch the little videos here if you like. But you're going to meet 5 different people that have 5 different lifestyles and different jobs. And they're going to talk about the different types of reading that they do in each of their jobs. It'll always remind you to take notes. And so it'll give you an example here. It'll suggest what to do in your notes. Occasionally, it'll advise you to take a break. So feel free to take a break as you do the lesson because we're going to start a new topic here. And that new topic is going to be setting goals. And they're going to talk about how you can set goals. And they're going to use this acronym SMART, S-M-A-R-T, to help you set realistic goals for your learning. And so the 2 parts of this activity, I would say, the first part focuses on reading, and the second part focuses on goal setting and achieving goals. If we continue on here, it'll talk about setting your own personal goals. And then when you get down to the bottom into consolidation, and this is where the OLC course looks a little different than my ENG course. In my ENG4C course, they have to hit a button that says assignment to go to a new page to do the assignment. In the OLC course, they put the assignment on the same page as the content. They put it in the consolidation section at the bottom of the content. So if we look here, they're going to ask you to do 2 assignments. They're both rather small. One of them is going to be a journal. And so they'll give you a journal assignment here. They'll explain what journals are. And the other one is going to be a portfolio entry. And so you can read about what is a journal and what is a portfolio here. And then your first assignment is your journal activity. And it will ask you to complete journal 1-1 or 1.1. So journal unit 1, activity 1. And then it will ask you to complete portfolio entry 1.1. So portfolio entry unit 1, activity 1. So you'll get other journal and portfolio entries throughout the semester, and they'll always have a number attached, which is the same as the unit and activity that you're currently doing. They do you a favor here. If I click, for example, the journal activity is going to ask you to write a paragraph that includes what you've learned so far. So what you learned so far in this course in Unit 1, Activity 1, and they'd like you to establish a reading goal and explain what your reading goal is. So they'd like you to do those 2 things in your first journal activity. To do that, you can click right here. First off, they give you some questions that you can answer to help you write your paragraph. But then to actually type your paragraph, you can just click on Journal 1-1.1, and it will take you into the Dropbox, and you can see an attachment here that says Journal Activity 1. And if I click on that, it opens here, and you can copy the document, and it will make a Google document for you. And so you have right here, you have your Google document already set up for you, and you can put in the date. So I can put in February 9th, 2026. And then you can write your paragraph right here, okay? So if you want, you can just, the website is already set up with Google Docs for you that you can just click on and open. Instead of having to open up your own blank Google Doc and type out your answer in a blank Google Doc, like my grade 12 students have to do. But once you've finished, let's say we finished our paragraph, you would go share, and you would share it with me. So just put my name in, Derek Harrigan, and it's going to pop up right here. Whoops, sorry, let me do it this way. And then you can leave me as editor, and then go copy the link, and then go send or share. And then what we would do is we would go back to the Dropbox here and we would go add a file, Google Drive, and it's going to take its time here. And you would go down to your file. Oops. And here it was. Upload. So journal entry number 1, and I would go, I would post, copy, paste my, my link, and then I would go submit. And then you would see, done, you would see that it has been submitted to journal entry number 1. And when I give you feedback, you'll be able to click right here and read my feedback under evaluation. And you would do the same thing for portfolio number 1. So if I go back here and we take a look, the journal is asking you, what have you learned so far and what is your reading goal? The portfolio is going to ask you to write a paragraph. Well, first, let me go up here. It says, in this learning activity, you learned about what is involved when you read. Go online and search for quotes about reading. Read through the different quotes and then choose one. Write a paragraph in response to the quote you chose. Pretend that the person who said it will read your response. Tell them whether you feel the same way about reading or not. Explain your reasons. And so what they want you to do, and they say you must save the URL and include it in your work. So what they want you to do is they want you to go online to Google, let's say, and we can type in quotes about reading, and then reading quotes, or what's the best way? Let's see, famous quotes about reading, for example. And then they want you to find one quote about reading that you find interesting. These are all from really famous authors here. So they want you to find, so maybe we find this quote right here. Let's say this is a quote about reading that we want to use. So what we would do is we would go into portfolio 1-1 or 1.1. We would open up the attachment. So I clicked to open up this attachment. And then I would get this screen right here, and it would say make a copy, and I'll make a copy. And then you'll see your portfolio entry right here, and you can put in the date. You can put in where you found your quote. So we want to put the quote, and they also want you to put the www. So I'm going to copy the web address, and I'll put that in here. And then you're going to type me one paragraph, doesn't have to be a long paragraph, but one paragraph about your opinion about the quote that you've chosen. Okay, so you'll fill that in here. And then again, just like the previous journal entry, we'll go share, and you can share it with me. So you probably won't see my email address right away like I do, but you type in Derek Harrigan, copy the link, we send it to me. Keep in mind that anything you type in Google Docs is automatically being saved. So you don't have to save anything in Google Docs, it's being saved. And then we go back to the portfolio 1.1 Dropbox. We go to add a file. We go to Google Drive. And we find our, right here, find our portfolio 1.1. We paste in the Google Docs link, and then we go submit and done. And then in theory, I would be done Unit 1, Activity 1. I've got my journal entry 1.1 and portfolio entry 1.1, and you've got both submitted. And my feedback will be right here. And that's it. You'll notice after you've done the portfolio and journal entry that there'll just be a short little conclusion here, and then that's it for the week. And then next week I'll post another activity in your assignments that you in your announcements, and then you can follow the directions for that. Any questions? I hope it made sense. I hope the activities make sense for both the ENG4C and the OLC. If anyone needs any individual help, just let me know. What I'm thinking I will do is I had some students that seem to like the idea that I do a Google Meet once a week. And so what I'm thinking is that each Monday, or if there's no class on Monday, on Tuesday, I will meet maybe 1:45. I'll meet with my ENG4C students, anyone that wants to meet to discuss the new activity. And then maybe at 2:30, I'll meet with my OLC students and maybe spend 30 minutes with each of you each week and discuss the new activity for that week. Would that be something we'd be interested in? Well, I'll float the idea through email and we'll see what we come up with. All right.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop my recording